Welcome to Compassion Speaks, where we give a voice to the nonprofits in the community. I'm your host, Kevin Weaver, and today on our show we have Dave Audsley from the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation. Dave, welcome.
Good morning. How are you today?
Hey, I'm well, thank you. Hey, let me ask you, you called and said you wanted to come on the show and talk about a banquet that you have coming up and that you're with the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation. And Dave, I don't know, sadly I must admit, I don't have a clue who you guys are. I mean, who is or what is the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation?
The Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation is a 501c nationwide. We have a 4-star rating from the charity Watchdogs. And that means that for every dollar, we spend 10 cents on the administrative cost.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
The majority of our members are all volunteers, so we volunteer our time, which cuts down on the cost for elk preservation, wildlife preservation.
Okay, so the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, you're basically about elk or wildlife preservation?
Wildlife preservation.
Uh-huh.
Our emphasis is on elk.
Sure, of course.
Okay.
So for me and for those that are watching, a little bit of a history, how long ago did this foundation begin?
Let me refer to my notes here and
by
give
all
you an
means.
update here.
Of course.
In 1937, prior to that, hunting was not regulated in this country. It was all geared toward the commercial. So the harvesting of hides, feathers, and meat were sold commercially. That all changed and became against the law for commercial wildlife sale. And in 1937, the hunters noticed a big decrease in wildlife nationwide. So they went to Congress, and the Pittman-Robertson Act was passed in 1937 that put a tax on all firearms, ammunition, and archery equipment. And then in 1951, they included the excise tax on all fishing equipment. And what that does, the money is put in one pot by the feds, then the feds distribute all the money to all the game and fish departments in every state in the country.
I see.
The emphasis for the game and fish is to manage their wildlife,
right.
And that's where the money comes from. For example, in 1940, there was only 1 million Canadian geese left. Today, there's 3 million. Wild turkeys, in 1910, they only had 100,000 of them in the whole country.
Sure.
Now there's 5.5 million today. Trumpeter swans, there were 73 birds in 1935. Now there's 20,000.
So through your efforts of preservation and
Conservation.
You've seen this increase, and so what kinds of things do you guys do?
Well, let me finish here. White-tailed deer,
Okay.
500,000 in 1900, 36 million today. So we're not murdering Bambi all the time, okay?
Right.
Elk, 41,000 in 1907, 1,200,000 just in the 10 western states. Antelope, 12,000 in 1960. There's over 1 million today. What I'm saying is our conservation efforts have increased all wildlife nationwide. Charity rating is 90%. We donated thousands of dollars to the Walla Fire, Chetasky Fire. For example, in the Walla Fire, the ranchers lost a lot of, the wildlife just slammed the ranchers' deeded property.
Oh, so that would make sense. The wildlife was actually coming onto the rancher's property and eating their.
So we spent $80,000 and bought hay and gave it to the ranchers, so on their own private property, so the wildlife wouldn't eat all their livestock feed. We have junior hunting camps. The Sipes Game Preserve, which is outside of Springerville, Eager, is a 1,600-acre piece of property that we purchased with the Heritage Fund just for elk habitat and restoration of the creeks. And we signed that deed over to Arizona Game and Fish. So they own it now. We have hunter safety courses. We help out in the White Mountain Nature Center. Our mission statement is to ensure the future of elk and other wildlife and their habitat and our hunting heritage. So our volunteers, what we do here in Arizona, we have delivered since May over thousands and thousands of gallons of water to all the trick tanks, water tanks in the area up here because they're all just gone dry. We've taken down we're still in the process of taking down fences that were destroyed by the Rodeo Chetaskai fire and Walla fire. Because when the fences go down, the elk calves and the deer fawns get tangled up
Sure.
and they can't get through. So we're retrieving and taking down all those burnt fences. Habitat restoration is again rehabbing the drinkers and the trick tanks, fixing the fences around them so the cattle don't destroy them, that sort of thing. So we're pretty busy. We have a big volunteer group, and right now we're going to be taking fences down on Saturday at those marsh tanks behind Porter Mountain Steakhouse and fixing those fences. So we like volunteers, and again our banquet is August the 20th at Honda Casino, and it starts at 4:30, and it's a fundraising banquet, and all this money goes to the restoration and help.
Well, let's step back for a minute. Of course, you've got this fundraiser coming up, and obviously you do a lot of work, the providing of the hay and the water and the mending of fences and all the things that you do. So it sounds like it is a very costly thing that you guys are involved with. Now, the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, this is not just an Arizona thing. This is a nationwide
It's
group, right?
nationwide. We have over 500 chapters nationwide. And let me give you an example of how we've helped the elk.
Okay.
There are no elk in Florida, New York, along the East Coast. In the last few years, we have reintroduced elk in 1985 in Pennsylvania,
Oh, amazing.
1995 Wisconsin, 1997 in Kentucky, Tennessee in 2000, Ontario, Canada in 2001, Great Smoky Mountain Park in 2002, Missouri 2011, Virginia in 2014, North Carolina in 2015, and West Virginia this year. And what we're doing is we're transporting elk with the cooperation of all the game and fish departments
Amazing.
and reintroducing elk that used to thrive all through the whole part of the United States.
You know, Dave, again, we came into the session just a few minutes ago, and I was totally ignorant to who you were. And now I'm becoming, a member, mesmerized or very interested in this group. Obviously, you have quite a passion for what you do. And I don't know if this is maybe a little philosophical to ask you this, but I mean, some people would argue, well, it's just kind of nature's way that these animals are no longer in these parts of the country. And I don't know how, or if you can answer this, but why? I mean, why such a desire or a need to have these animals spread back out through the United States again?
It's nature. It's the natural way. And the problem was that humans were destroying a natural resource. And we as hunters recognized that. And that's why those bills were passed in Congress. So now every time a hunter buys ammunition or a firearm or hunting or fishing equipment or archery equipment, that money is taxed and it goes into the restoration and rehab of all wildlife.
So I guess what I'm hearing you say is you guys, you have a passion or you feel a responsibility, maybe kind of replenish and pay back Mother Earth from what we've kind of taken away from her.
Exactly. I can give you some information now on what we've done just for Arizona.
Yeah, give us a little bit of that.
Okay.
Excellent. Yes, yes.
In Arizona last year, we have a total value of over $31 million here in Arizona. Land
Mind-boggling.
protection and access, $15 million. And what I mean by that is we're buying private property that is adjacent to a national forest.
Right.
So they can't be developed for houses and commercial.
Gotcha.
And that gives the hunters access and the wildlife watchers access. Habitat enhancement, we spent $3 million. $1,200,000 we gave to Arizona Game and Fish for their projects to rehab wildlife. and then 100,000 research, hunting heritage and oak conservation overreach. I'm also a hunter safety firearms instructor for Game and Fish. A lot of the members are, and we really emphasize youthful participation in wildlife conservation and hunting and fishing and camping.
So you guys, really, you're about bringing a balance to this thing. And what you've spoken of, I mean, you've mentioned an awful lot of money. And I can't imagine that all that money comes from just the state of Arizona, but perhaps a large share of it could come from the event that you have coming up in a few weeks. So let's talk about that for just a couple of minutes.
The banquet is a fundraising banquet, and we one of the chapters in Arizona is up here in Pine Top Lakeside, Show Low, and it's called the White Mountain Chapter.
Okay.
And our banquet opens up at 4:30, and we have games, auctions, raffles, and those all include handguns, rifles, shotguns, camping equipment, archery equipment, anything to do with hunting, fishing, camping, bird watching.
Wow, excellent.
You know,
So where is this going to be, Dave?
at Honda Casino,
Honda Casino.
August the 20th.
August the
And
20th.
let me give you the phone number
Yeah, please, let's do
and
that.
the email address.
Okay.
The phone number is 928-242-4317. And the email address is rmefwm18 at gmail.com.
Okay, so the event, as we begin to wrap this up, the event is, what day of the week is that? Is it Saturday?
Saturday, August 20th,
Saturday, August 20th, Honda Casino.
4:30.
It begins at 4:30. And is the contact you?
No, contact the phone number 242-4317 to make reservations.
Oh, make reservations. Okay, yeah, please do that.
And
And real quick, Dave, what is it going to cost to eat
It
there?
is $85 per person.
$85 per person.
And then let me check here. I think it's $135 for two.
Okay. Sounds like a great deal. You know, I mean, if you're going to spend money, you're going to invest, you're going to be involved in the community. What a wonderful, wonderful cause.
Well, we appreciate any support anybody
Well,
out there. And I'm addressing the non-hunters here.
There you go. And I am one. And you know what? They're telling me our time is just about up. And Dave, what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring you back and we're going to follow up on this event. And I'm going to get some people, the non-hunters like me, involved in what's going on.
Oh, well, good. Thank you very much.
So stay tuned. We'll be right back with our next guest. Welcome back to Compassion Speaks. Joining us now on the show is Dina Pace, Director of the Humane Society. Is it White Mountain Humane Society?
Humane Society of the White Mountains.
Humane Society of the White Mountains. And Dina, we're going right back to square one. I know that you've been on the program before, or at least the Humane Society has. But like our last show, our last segment, I pass by the Humane Society every day when I go to work, but I really don't know what you guys are. I mean, when I think of the Humane Society, and I think I speak for a lot of people, I think, well, if you don't want your animal anymore, bring in the Humane Society and they'll take care of them.
Right.
But you're much more than that.
We are much more than that. We've really grown and advanced to how we do things and who we are in the community in probably the last 6 to 7 years for sure. So we are the only humane society with a shelter up here in the White Mountains, period.
Right.
We're a nonprofit, obviously a 501c3, and we are totally self-supporting through donations, fundraisers, our doghouse thrift shop, and that's how we get our money. We don't get it from the Humane Society of the United States or
Oh,
the
okay.
ASPCA. And a lot of people will tell me, well, I donate to the Humane Society of the United States every month, so you're getting some of that. No, unfortunately, we're not. So what I like to do is to educate people that if, regardless of where you live, and you have a belief in one of the nonprofits and the good that they do in your community, you need to make sure you're donating directly to them.
Boy, I couldn't agree more. And maybe I shouldn't be springing this question on you, but I mean, why don't you receive funds from those organizations?
I really can't tell you.
Okay.
I just really can't answer that. They're out doing things to change the world for the animals, while we're, I guess, basically in the trenches every day dealing with the animals.
That's a beautiful answer. I mean, that just makes sense. I guess you would say that your philosophies or mission statements are different and opposing. And that's what we need. Yeah, we need to change the world, but before we can change the world, I'm a firm believer we need to take care of our piece of the pie. And it sounds like that's what you guys are about.
Yes, we are. We take care of what's here, what we deal with on a daily basis. That's who we are. You know, we do take in homeless animals, or for whatever reason, if a person cannot keep their animal anymore.
Okay.
And we vaccinate, we spay, we neuter, we microchip every animal before they're available for adoption. So, and then when we adopt them for the prices that we do, we lose money on every one of them. So that's why we need the community to continue to donate and to continue to support our fundraising efforts, because we lose money on every animal, but we're not there to make money. We're there to find the
Right.
best forever loving home.
You know, I'm a chaplain for one of the local hospices here, and so I run into a lot of people in a lot of homes, and many of the people's homes, they have animals, and the animals have come from the Humane Society. And I have to tell you, those animals, really, I mean, they seem like they're trained animals, because they seem to always be well disciplined, well mannered. Do you attribute that to your efforts, or is it just because people who adopt maybe seem to be very in tune and desire to have a nice animal?
I think it's both. We deal with animals that come in that have been on their own, that are very scared and frightened. They don't trust anyone, and we work with those animals, you know, to turn them around, to make them realize that people aren't all bad, that people love them. And then we find these great homes for them. And I think my experience in dealing with shelter animals is they never forget. They're always grateful, you know, that you gave them a home and a life and a chance.
You know,
and they want to please you.
What you're saying really is, it resonates true with me. As a chaplain, one time I had somebody tell me that their pastor told them that animals don't have souls and animals don't go to heaven, and I just jumped right on board and said, well, I mean that's just not true. When I think of the soul of a person, I think of intellect and reasoning and all those things that make up a person. Animals display that.
Oh, they absolutely do. There are some, not all of them, but you know, they all have a soul. I do believe that myself. But there are some that their eyes will just reach into your soul, and you can literally see into them, and they can see into you. And that's what makes some of these homes so amazing, is the connections you see with their pets when you go into their homes and stuff. And a lot of times too, there's people that are lonely, that have no reason to get up every day,
Right.
except they have a pet that needs them.
You know, that's a true statement. I do grief support groups, and many of the people in the groups and many of them have gotten animals from the Humane Society. They'll tell me the same thing. My purpose now, since the loss of my loved one, and why I can go on and why I have not completed an act of suicide, is because I have this animal to get up for.
That's right.
It's
That
true.
is right.
They're lifesavers.
They are.
So there's this reciprocal thing going on. These animals need a home, and generally the homes they're going to, these homes need that animal.
They do. Yes,
Yeah,
they do. And
yeah.
sometimes they don't even realize it until they get that animal home. You know, how much that they needed that.
Boy,
So,
boy, no truer word. So what is the day in the life of a person that works at the Humane Society? What does it look like in there when you go to work every day?
you know, I guess our perspective of it is probably different than when the public comes in. What I see is the work and the love that goes in with all of us there, including our volunteers, because we cannot do what we do without volunteers on a daily basis. And so I see these animals, I watch them turn around, and it's so rewarding. So we get there at 7 o'clock in the morning, we start feeding. The kennel techs come in at 8, they start cleaning and caring for them. And we have laundry going. This is something that blows a lot of people's mind. Every animal in our shelter gets clean bedding, clean dishes, and clean toys every day.
Wow.
And they go, why do they do that? Well, a big part of that is disease control.
Well, of course.
We have to control disease, and so that's how we do it. So we have washers and dryers going from 7 in the morning till we leave at 5 at night.
That is a wonderful a point to bring out. Of course, you're talking about disease control, but when somebody asks why do you do that, really, why not?
Right.
Why not?
Right.
Is that living being any less deserving of a comfortable place to live? I mean,
That's right. Because a kennel is all they have. That's all they have in this world until somebody comes in and takes them to home.
Wow.
So that's why we do our biggest fundraiser of the year is called Happy Tails.
Okay. Yeah. Well, let's talk about it.
Okay.
I saw that. I thought Happy Trails, and of course Happy Trails, but it's Happy Tails.
Happy Tails, and we have lots of Happy Tails. So this is our biggest fundraiser this year. It's August 27th.
Okay.
From 11 to 5, and it's at Charlie Clark's at the Orchards.
Oh, great
Really
location.
nice venue.
Yes.
So we have a live auction, we have silent auction, we have blitz raffles, we have raffle baskets, we have barbecue lunch, and we have adoptions. We have dogs there, sometimes cats, depending on how hot it is, for adoptions also. So what everyone needs to know is people in our community and businesses provide all the items that are auctioned.
Okay, great.
We have no expense going into any of the auction items.
Excellent.
So 100% of that comes right back to support your local Humane Society.
Well, let me ask you this. What kind of money are you looking to make on that day?
You know what? I would love, and so would our whole crew that's working hard on this, our volunteers and everyone, $100,000.
Wow.
Let's shoot for that. You
Why
know
not?
what?
Why not?
I have seen this community do it. We can do it. With the community's help,
Well, it's
we
true.
can happen.
You know what? Somebody listening out there, take the challenge. Write out a check for $100,000, and then we can make another $100,000.
There you go. Now, we are selling barbecue tickets in advance. So
Okay.
if you buy them in advance, they're $18.
Okay.
If you get them at the gate, they're $20. And then we're also selling raffle tickets right now. For $10, you can get, the first prize will be a 40-inch smart TV, and the second prize is a tablet. So
Excellent.
a $10 ticket, you have an opportunity to win one of two prizes.
Well, not to mention just a great afternoon. As you said, in a beautiful venue. I haven't been to the Orchard in years. And so I'm going to make an effort to get there. It sounds like, you want to take your spouse on a nice date?
Absolutely.
Why not?
And when you guys are all there, when the community comes there, watch for these T-shirts, and you will be amazed how many volunteers will be having these T-shirts on working that day.
Well, how many volunteers do you have?
That day, we usually have close to 100 or more.
Oh, wow. Because, what I do for a living with hospice, volunteers they're a huge part of what we do.
Absolutely.
We could not exist without them.
Yes.
Ditto?
Neither can we.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
And on this, the other thing is, we do need donations. So if you're a business or you're an individual in the community that you have something to donate that we haven't been to your place yet,
Okay.
please call us at the shelter at 368-5295.
Okay.
Or you can call our Doghouse Thrift Shop or even High Five Designs. Let us know that you've got something, and one of us will get down there and get it.
Okay, so you do come and pick them up.
Absolutely.
That's a great point, because many times people have yard sales and such, and what do we do with what's left over?
Right.
Call you guys, you'll come and get them.
Right. Call our thrift shop. They'll come and get that stuff.
Excellent.
Happy Tails has mostly all new items in it.
Oh, okay.
So
So you could still use some new items for this event?
absolutely.
Why not?
So if you're a business and one of us or our volunteers haven't seen you yet, trust me, we're probably on our way.
Okay. Are you going to take foods like cakes and stuff for auction?
You know what? We have a dessert auction.
Oh, okay.
And those have already been picked out, and selected. The businesses have agreed to bake them. And actually, you need to come. You will be amazed
Okay.
at this whole setup.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm the chairman of the board of directors for White Mountain Meals on Wheels. And so, Sue, we're going to bake something. I'm going to find out what you guys need, and we're going to bake a bunch of it, and we're going to contribute it as well.
Well, that's not how we do it, though.
Oh,
But I'm going to take your baked stuff and we're going to do something else with it.
Okay.
How's that?
All right, you tell me what you want, and
Okay.
so we'll
Yeah.
hopefully make you a little bit more money.
Absolutely. And I hope you guys come. I hope you come. And I think that it's really important. This is very family oriented. So come, have a good time, and just know that every dollar you spend is going right back to your local Humane Society to support these animals.
Excellent, excellent. So, wow, a very, very enlightening time together. You know, our time is just about up. I really appreciate Dina, you being here. But before we go, go ahead and highlight this again. They'll probably do a little close-up on that.
Okay.
And if they could do that right now, I don't know how that happens. But go ahead and
Okay.
recap for us.
So it's called Happy Tales. It's August 27th. It fully supports the Humane Society of the White Mountains. It is our largest fundraiser of the year. We have a live auction, silent auction, blitz auction, dessert auction, raffle baskets, and a barbecue, and along with other things. I mean, you guys need to come join us, and you can also watch our website. We'll be in the paper too of some of the things that are donated that will be up for auction that day. Everybody's a winner, and the ones that win the most are the homeless animals for you
Excellent.
coming and supporting this.
Excellent.
We're selling advance barbecue tickets. You save $2 if you get it in advance. So it's $18. Charlie Clark's does a great barbecue for us, and the $18 gets you your barbecue and your bidder ticket so that you are ready to start bidding on stuff and being a winner.
Wow. Excellent. Miss Dina, I can't thank you enough. Of course, the information will come on the screen at the end of the show. Thank you for being here with us.
Thank you.
You know, somebody once said, and maybe I believe it today, that animals are people too. So let's come and support these folks. And I want to thank you for joining us today. Stay tuned next month to hear Compassion